Hey everybody, this is Brad Panovich, Chief Meteorologist here in Charlotte, North Carolina with your Ski Southeast update. Finally, the thaw is over. We've been waiting for this 2-week thaw to finally come to an end. And not only is it coming to an end, but we've got some natural snow and cold temperatures. And this is a pretty good stretch. This is at least going to be a 4 or 5 day stretch of cold enough temperatures and some natural snow that likely is going to get us through the rest of the season just based on the fact that the resorts will be able to build up enough snow and really get some natural snow to get those bases built up. So let's get right to what's going on. We have the front come through on Thursday afternoon, and the winds have been picking up tonight into Friday morning, now into Friday afternoon. We're seeing a northwest flow snow event, which is ongoing this morning. We've got one little piece of energy coming down, really producing some good snow up in West Virginia down to North Carolina. Now, this event is going to go on right through Saturday morning. It begins to wane a little bit by about midday on Saturday. So I do anticipate sometime on Saturday we'll see the snow shut off, at least briefly here in many locations of the southeast. We're likely just going to see a few snow showers here and there, and the accumulating snow is probably going to be mainly Friday night into Saturday morning. But up here over the Great Lakes, we've got another little disturbance and a whole bunch of moisture that's going to start dropping down. So the good news is that little system starts to come down on Saturday night, and we start to see the snow pick back up. So maybe just a brief lull on Saturday, and then that snow will start to pick back up. And then this system actually comes down, and this is a pretty potent northwesterly flow system. It's kind of like a Alberta Clipper on steroids, if you will. Look at this come down here, and you can see all the snow that it starts picking up off the lakes, and even down here well into the south. So this is where Cataloochee is going to end up, and maybe Ski Ober is going to end up getting some pretty good snow out of this. And eventually these connected lakes will start moving into parts of the Virginia. So a really good setup overall for some decent snow. So let me show you what the model, at least our short range model, is showing through the start of the weekend. We'll go into Saturday, and you can see the heavy amounts up there in West Virginia and Maryland. Really good amounts here. You're talking getting up there around 6 to 7 inches of snow. And then down in North Carolina, you're looking at a general 1 to 2, but the typical spots, Beach and Sugar, and maybe even close to Cataloochee, could end up with a little bit more. I think the first one is going to be the lesser of the two. It's the second one that really brings the better chances of snow. And we kind of end our model at 5 o'clock on Sunday, when honestly I think that's when the best snow is going to pick up. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. Let me show you the snow-making temperatures, because we've got plenty of cold air for Friday, all of Saturday, and almost all of Sunday as well. So you're looking at the potential for at least a couple days of a northwest flow event, which overall should give us some really good snow for Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Now, Sunday's system is where things get a little interesting. Let's take a look at that, and we have to look at the GFS model, and we'll go out a little bit farther here. So you can see the first system coming through on Saturday, and it kind of weakens. And then watch what happens as we go into Sunday. The secondary system develops, and look at how much more snow is getting produced here across the Ohio Valley. And again, this is all northwest flow. If you look at the isobars here, this is setting up what we call an orographic flow that's perpendicular to the mountain. So you've got perfect conditions up and down the entire chain. And I'll go back a little bit. I mean to jump ahead. You can see how Sunday afternoon into Sunday night, that's a really good flow, and it continues into Monday morning, and then it tapers off by Monday afternoon. So there's going to be two distinct waves of snow. Now, as we go into next week, looking a little bit further out, it looks like we'll have on again, off again cold bouts in the mountains with overnight lows cold enough to maybe make snow at times. But there is going to be a little bit of a midweek warm up before the next system comes down by Wednesday into Thursday. And you can see up in West Virginia, we've got a burst of snow, but maybe not down in North Carolina. This one's still a little bit questionable because it's pretty far out. But you can see that's another little front that's going to move through, and it does cool back down by next weekend. So what do you know? For 2 weekends in a row, it looks like we're going to get some cold enough temperatures, at least for nighttime snowmaking, and to maintain our base as we go into next weekend. Now, this little system coming out of the south looks a little wet on Friday, but if you look carefully, the temperatures are real marginal here in both the Carolinas and the Virginia. So the model's having trouble figuring out if that's going to be snow or rain. And right now, I think it's a close call of wet snow versus rain, but you see it eventually changes it to snow by Friday afternoon as more cold air moves in for next Saturday. So we look ahead to next weekend, and the thing that I look for on these maps, this is the 35-degree line, and the red line is a 0 Celsius or 32. all this is well below freezing. So again, the timing is just about perfect for 2 weekends in a row that we've got the potential for not only cold temperatures but snow. So this first bout of snow is Friday night into Saturday. The second batch is going to come in Sunday into Monday. And all along this time, we're going to have snowmaking conditions for 4 or 5 days. And then next week, it does modify a little bit temperature-wise, but it looks like at least nighttime snowmaking could be possible a couple times next week. The best part of all this, it is not the 2-week thaw that we just came out of. Much better pattern going into February. And as I talked about earlier in the week, there are some signs that February is going to be a weird month. I think we're seeing signs that there's going to be some stratospheric warming, and at some point we could see another blast of cold air and storminess. That's still pretty far out. It's hard to get a good reading on these things more than about 10 days out. So we'll take a look at that next week. But for now, 2 weekends in a row after 2 horrible weekends, looking good in the southeast. Hit the slopes if you can, because it is going to be a great weekend with the snow making and the natural stuff flying up and down the Appalachian chain. Hope you have a great weekend. Hit the slopes, get out there, and as always, remember, keep thinking snow. We need it.